Joe.
Good evening.
Bob, would you like to give us a little bit of the history of the steamed cheeseburger itself, and we'll go from there, okay?
Sure. Well, I don't think anybody really knows when it first started. Perhaps in the First World War,
Yep.
when there was a lot of manufacturing being done in Meriden and Wallingford, and the men had to be fed, and they were on shifts that went around the clock. And the wives would bake hamburger and cook it in pots, and somehow in cooking it, it steamed, and then it was delivered to the factories. I think that's where it first began, and I can picture little carts in my mind that kids brought to the factories or on horseback even. But that's how I think it all began, and then from there it just developed. I don't have any factual things that I can put my hands on that would point to a specific date that it was invented. My knowledge of it came from Dale Greenbacker, and many of the articles in the Record Journal that depicted the people who were making them in the famous little spots they had, like Bradley's and I guess it was Omar's, and the Lunchbox, and well, of course Ted's. And that's where the first unit that was made by Daleco was sold, was to Ted, from my not limited knowledge. And from there it just sprang up and started its own life on its own. Dale copyrighted the name Burg'r Tend'r, and then he had, after years of preparation and developing this format of how it would be used on a stove, finally got to the point where he had this perfect design to his belief, and so he then started selling it. And he incorporated it around 1979, and from there he worked on it for about 10 years and was unable to continue because of ill health, and that's where I came into the picture along with my friend Dave Ferguson. That we were great friends, so we bought the business together, and it was a very fortunate thing to do because in about 1990 I lost my position, and I worked in a bank, and there was a merger, and I no longer had a job. So I played along with this, and at some point I met Tom, and we joined forces because of our common passion of steamed cheeseburgers. And I, of course, in my advancing years am not able to do a lot of the work, but Tom is young and vigorous, and he's able to carry the business forward. And that's what I hope happens, that it goes on into the future.
Well, that's great. That's excellent. Tom, why don't you give me a little bit of